15 minutes. Okay.
Hey, Arlene. I'm Carolyn Swenson. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Hi, Carolyn. Where are you from?
I am coming to you from Madison, Wisconsin
That's
area-ish. Yeah.
Is
How
it
about you?
is it snowing there right now?
No, it's cold, but it's not snowing.
I'm over here in Seattle, Washington area.
Due west. Due
Yeah,
west.
Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
Home of the Seattle Seahawks.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if you've heard of the Packers, but that's where we're
Yes.
at over here. But yeah.
Yes.
So it's CCAM, right? And it's nice to finally chat with you. I know I've seen your name around and such. So I'll share a little bit about myself and then I'd love to learn more about you. So I'm like 7 years out from my first and hopefully only recurrence. So I'm a cervical cancer survivor, of course, and was first diagnosed in 2012. And, it was one of those things. I had just gotten married, and my husband and I were like doing the whole family planning thing. And I got a crazy call from my, primary saying I needed to have a biopsy done. And we did on our way to our honeymoon, which was kind of funny. But
Oh,
I figured Hawaii, we were going to Hawaii. So if I got bad news or good news, like give me a Mai Tai either way, right? So, and then, we learned it was cancer and I had surgery and I was able to have a radical trachelectomy, which was just crazy odds that it would work out, but that spared my fertility. And we were like amazingly blessed to have two little girls. And about 6 months, maybe a year after we had our second child, two little girls, I was getting all these symptoms, and I was kind of being passed back and forth between OB and my oncology folks because they figured I was perimenopausal. Turns out it was back. And so then
oh.
I had the whole radical hysterectomy and or the remaining parts of that. And then 35 radiation treatments. And I've been clear since, very luckily. So how about you?
So you're how many years Nanny D now? 7 years.
7.
7 years.
Yes. Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
coming on to my 3 years coming up this March. I was diagnosed in September, actually in California. So I'm originally from California, and during the pandemic back in 2020, didn't get any tests, didn't see the doctor. Well, of course, who can, right? So I
Right.
decided when I went back to see my daughter in California, late September, I decided, why not? Let me go see my dentist, my doctor, my OB, and my vision doctor. So I canceled four. I made appointments for four doctors, and the OB was the last one. Well, from there, I hemorrhaged, so clots of blood was coming out of my, you know what. And she was like,
Oh, gosh.
this is not good. Let me do a biopsy right now. So she did a biopsy then and there. And I don't know if people out there know a biopsy, but it's like snip, snip, snip. She's like, oh, it's not gonna hurt. But I was like, ouch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I remember mine. Not pretty.
You got to go do an ultrasound before you head back to Washington. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, is anything wrong? And she's like, no, but we got to take these precautions. And I was with this gynecologist for over 15 years of my life. And, I've had chronic endometriosis, chronic
Mhm.
dysmenorrhea. So those symptoms mirror cervical cancer. So she never really thought of like cancer, right?
Mhm.
And then like a week and a half later, I get the call and she's just like, when that doctor says, where are you right now? Are you sitting down? Are you at
Yeah.
home? And I'm like, yeah, I'm at home. So I got the call and immediately, you're like, I lost my mother to cancer, lost my mother-in-law to cancer. At the same time, my 7-year-old nephew was going through leukemia. And I was just like, what? I got to see a oncologist. What? I got to get a PET scan. I got to do all these things. And, our minds are like, what are cancer? What? I'm still kind of processing, like,
Yeah.
how can I get cancer? Like, what's going on? Right.
Right.
So that was still kind of in the pandemic area, but not really. You could only have like one person with you. You're
Right.
masked. So I did the whole. I was stage 1B3. The tumor was over 4 centimeters, so I had to do the whole radiation, the chemo, and the brachytherapy. But this March will be my 3 year NED. I'm claiming it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Claiming it. I'm claiming it. But the whole part was like after the whole cancer part, and then when you reoccurred, and then after that part, the feelings of like, okay, I'm done with my treatment, but what do I do now? Right? Did you have that
Oh
kind of thing where
gosh.
you're like in a new body and you're
Sometimes I feel like I still
okay?
feel that way. Like, so I don't know about you, but so I don't get scans.
Oh, okay.
So it was just two surgical interventions between the two, and then all of the radiation. I don't get scans. I don't know why that's, it's all evidence based. So, but I don't know if that's a preference of my healthcare institution or what, but um, so, I've,
Does that freak you out not having skin?
yeah, because every time there's something wrong, I'm like, oh my God, here it is, it's back, and so once every couple of years, there seems to be something that ends up being something they look into. Like I was having this like kind of lower back pain in like April of last year, and so I ended up getting like a CT, and at least that they could tell. They were like, no, I mean everything looks good, so that helps. But yeah, like I have like what is it? It's like lack of scanxiety.
Oh,
I don't know. So
I know, right? Because we
yeah,
have anxiety. Like for me, it started every 3 months, but I graduated to every 6 months. And I
yeah,
asked my doctor because they've been so great. Um, it's so different because I know other women that are in the same boat as me, but they have pap smears, some have tests, some have scans. And so I wonder, like, am I also supposed to have a pap smear? And it's just one of those like conversations that some of my friends have here is it because of you're at different hospitals uh,
yeah,
or different uh, insurances, like why I'm exactly the same stage as this person, she's getting paps but I'm not,
right,
and sometimes it freaks me out not getting a pap, but then I get the scans and she doesn't, so
yeah,
it's like what's going on, right?
right.
And I don't mind the scans, but I know sometimes, those also too many scans can also hurt the body.
Right.
But
Which is kind of like the explanation I was given, having had radiation and, a bunch of stuff pre-treatment along the way. So, maybe that's why, I don't know. But so, yeah, I mean, I know I have a therapist and I journal and all those things to try to like calm my brain. And, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I mean, so I'm a lifer with anxiety to begin with,
mhm.
right? So like
We've had it
not just
before,
like
like anxiety.
anxiety. Like I'm just an anxiety person. So I'm like, you know what? I've just come to terms with the fact that I'm just going to be treating myself for that for a long time with medication. And you know what? That's fine. Like if it helps me survive in this body and in this, world, and I can put my energy or effort or attention on other things,
That's good.
I'm hoping, as time goes on, my oncologist was like, well, the longer you are NED, the less likely it will be that it comes back. And I think that's something that they should say often and earlier, because that's not something I necessarily realized the second time around.
Mhm.
So um,
Okay.
that was good to hear, because I was like, okay, all right. So maybe I'm on my way here, and I've got these two little girls now. And that was like a
Mm.
huge thing of guilt I struggled with my recurrence, was looking over these little
Being
people.
a
They
mom,
were like 3 and 1, and just thinking, I didn't bring you here to leave, and ugh.
at least you
But
have the blessing of being a mother. Because
I we
I
are
think
so so
we
so
see a lot of the young women go through some of the surgeries and some of those things, and some doctors not explaining the full thing of like you may not be able to give birth. And at that time, when they have to think about getting treatment or getting well, it kind of goes past their mind about like, now I can't,
Absolutely.
right? And we were talking also like survivor skills. I guess a good thing with me while I was going through my treatment here over at Fred Hutch is I found a friend who we went through the cancer together. So we had the same radiation oncologist. We would meet, like, we would joke about, like, the radiation, the chemo. She would have the chemo room next to me. We would request it and things like that. But with survivor skills, she's now into her like fifth recurrence, and
Oh,
it hurts so bad because she's so happy, she's so spirited, for me, and like, but her body is like going through tough times right now. So it's like I do have that survivor's guilt sometimes.
yeah.
um Prayer, I think with me
Right.
it's um I believe in prayer. I believe in prayer warriors. I believe in like having a positive mindset, having
Mhm.
positive community, like Survivor. I think I met Survivor after my treatment. So it was one of those things where it was a blessing because I didn't know how to navigate through what I was feeling, or had nobody who really understood the problems down there.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
what is this, below the belt conversations, right?
Right.
It's uncomfortable still to me sometimes to talk about
Yeah.
it, because people will look at you like they like
Yeah.
to hear your story, but I guess there's feeling of uncomfortableness with people when we talk about our privates.
Yeah. Well, I try to tell people like we've been talking about this for so long. My husband and I joke that like he would tell people he'd be having talks about my, my lady parts at the gas station with the dude next to him in line, like you just like treat it like it's a thumb. Like talk about it. People need to know, I mean it's so true. And like, what year is it, right? It's 2025. Like this
Right.
is this is like real stuff, and we
Yeah, and
all
it's
know
scam.
that, but yeah.
It's
Yeah, I hope that the stigma is gone someday.
Yeah, and with the new year coming, January, I think this is the best time for it to be Cervical Cancer Awareness Month because it's still the hype of the holidays. It's hype of like
Yep.
new beginnings,
New
and what
beginnings.
better way to talk about this than in January? So if people don't know what CCAM means, we've been saying CCAM, but I guess
Yes.
people may not know what it means, but it's Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. And that is in the month of January, which we're in now. And Survivor, which we love,
Hmm.
they're doing a bunch of things this whole month. And we have, what do we have coming up, Carolyn? We have on Saturday, January 11th, we have Spirit Week and the kickoff party. So we're gonna have Yvette and Lisa,
Yeah. She's
um,
hilarious.
the Spirit Week, and
Yeah.
Yvette's got the beautiful voice, and she's got the, she's always dancing
Yeah.
around. So what a perfect people to kick off Survivor. Right now, I'm all into this. It's the Tell 20, Give 20 campaign. So this is really a campaign that helps our organization to fund like the care, comfort, and compassion program, the events and the activities we have, to just be more giving to our survivor community. And I think I'm telling everybody about it. I'm almost at my
Hmm.
goal. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. But we have that coming, and the one thing that I'm really excited about is the Survivor Summit.
Hmm.
Are you gonna be there, Carolyn?
I think so. I'm not gonna, no, I'm not, no,
Virtually,
actually, I don't know that I can make that work, but I would love to.
you're gonna be there virtually, though. You can.
Virtually, yes, I can
Yeah.
be. Yes, yes, totally. That I can do.
So that'll be. Let me look at my notes.
January
January
23rd.
3.
Yeah. through the 26th.
26, and it's a hybrid. So, if you can't be there in person, definitely you have to be there online, which I went to my first one online. Was that? I can't remember. Was that in 2022? I don't know.
I think that sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't been to a Survivor event in a while, so in more than a year. So I'm really excited to see Tamika, to see Morgan, to see Kimmy, and all of the Survivor sisters. Because really, I think after the treatment, finding a community, positive community, who understands, who uplifts you, who empowers you. Um, I think that's what a lot of us need. And
Mhm.
I'm so happy to meet you today, Carolyn. And
Yeah.
I,
Me too,
I hope to hug
Arlene.
you in person someday.
I know. No, we will. It'll
Yeah,
happen.
we
Yes,
will
it'll
have to.
happen. It's been
And I
really a
want to,
treat to chat with you.
yeah, I want to bless you and hope that all of your upcoming, treatment or your doctor visits and things like that go well. And
You too. Celebrate in March too when you're 3 years out. That's awesome.
yeah, I'm already claiming it. I
Yeah.
usually do a run too. I'll do some run in March for
Oh,
that. Yeah, I usually do
good for you.
some type of run to celebrate that. But keeping active is something that I like to do. So,
Yeah.
but
It's good for the soul and the body.
yeah, but I
Well,
think we're
thank
running
you.
up.
Take care.
Yeah, well, stay cool over there or stay warm.
Right. Thanks. You
Well,
too.
thank you, Survivor, for having us, and see you guys soon.
Bye.